Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Fiona Noble and I'm an honorary researcher in the School of Modern Languages and Cultures at Durham University. I'd like to thank Neve for inviting me to be part of such an interesting, current and necessary roundtable, I think, on how digital technologies are revolutionising academic writing. And I think that Neve's willingness to accept this virtual presentation from myself is evidence of how digital technologies might not just shift academic writing but also academic participation in a number of different events and contexts. So I've decided to focus on the virtual Shut Up and Write session in my response today. I was first introduced to the idea of Shut Up and Write by a colleague and friend of mine at the University of Aberdeen, Dr. Francisca Sanchez Ortiz. This was during my doctoral studies. And I guess in case anyone's not familiar with the concept of Shut Up and Write, the way it works is that you would agree to meet at a certain time and place. It might be in your postgraduate office, it might be in a cafe, it might be in the library, it could be at your friend's house, it doesn't really matter. Just somewhere that you can be comfortable, somewhere that you can write, somewhere that you can concentrate primarily. So once you've arranged your time, your place, the people with whom you're meeting, you get together, you share with the group what you are planning to work on. Your goal might be target based in terms of words. You might be aiming to produce a certain number of words during the session, or you might rather just decide, I need to focus on this abstract, this book review, this conference paper, this book chapter, whatever it might be. So you share your aim with the group, and then I think it works in different ways for different people. When I've done it, we tend to work with the Pomodoro system, so we set a timer for 25 minutes and then we write silently, we focus, and after 25 minutes you take a short break, you perhaps share with the group what you've been working on, what you've been struggling with, what the challenges are, and so on. And then again, you can do another Pomodoro session. You might just have time for one, you might have time for an hour, it might be a longer project if you're working on something collaboratively, where you maybe have a day, for example, to work on something together. It varies based on the group. But I guess that's the basic premise, so I hope that makes sense for those of you who are not familiar with the concept. Virtual Shut Up and Writes are slightly different in that you're not physically in the same space, but you would agree to meet at a certain time online and to work on whatever it is you're writing on. It's basically the same principle, but it works virtually rather than in person. So virtual Shut Up and Writes for me have become massively important of late, and this is due to personal circumstances. So in 2015 I had a baby, and I'm currently the main carer for our little bundle of joy, who's now 15 months old and toddling about the place. Because of this, I'm not currently working in academia, and as a result I have limited time and space for academic writing. But at the same time that I don't have time to work on academic projects as much as I'd like, I also have a contract for my first monograph, and I need to keep plugging away at this and other research projects which I hope will get me an academic position in the long term. Virtual Shut Up and Writes and supportive writing time on Twitter in particular have been a huge motivation and source of inspiration for me personally. This has helped me to utilise what little time I do have to write, which is normally the piece of nap time. And this, I guess, could be such an isolated time for me in the sense that I don't have regular contact with other academics. I cannot attend writing sessions or research sessions in person. And at this time, Twitter has proved invaluable, and in particular the Hispanic Studies contingent. So people such as Neve herself, Leticia at Warwick, Ricky at Queen's, and so on. You guys are always there, and whenever you put out a call to say you're hoping to do some writing, you can count on someone being there to keep you company and help you get through that difficult writing spell that you need to focus, but it can be difficult to do so. I think there was one session in particular when we were all doing Pomodoros at different times, but somehow it worked. We were all just checking in after each Pomodoro and spurring each other on, and that sense of community is very encouraging when you're sitting working in your office, at home, on your own, and I'm sure in your office at university as well. So I guess to sum up my thoughts on virtual shut up and writes, I wanted to highlight what I think are the three main benefits to engaging in these sorts of sessions via digital technologies such as Twitter. And I should note as well, actually, that there are sorts of official shut up and write Twitter accounts. I think the first one started in Australia. You'll find it, I think, with the @ for the Twitter symbol, SUWT. That's them there, and there's also a UK one as well. So actually, if you're writing it at odd times, you can chime in with either one, depending on what suits your writing regime or the time that you have to write. So just to sum up then, with the benefits of engaging in such sessions and how I think they're changing things as we move forward. In the first instance, I think sessions such as these facilitate collaborative writing ventures when authors are not physically in the same location. So the likes of co-edited projects or co-written works can be produced through these virtual shut up and writes, or the likes of Google Documents, where you can edit in real time with each other while you're in different locations. I think that practical benefit is one that is shifting the way in which we as academics engage with digital technologies and academic writing. Secondly, I think community and collegiality are two further aspects that benefit us in terms of virtual shut up and writes. I found that these sessions create a sense of togetherness and mutually beneficial support in an area of academic experience, academic life that many struggle with. And actually, I think what's been really nice about the Hispanic Studies contingent in particular is that although there are a few of us who are ECRs, there's also more senior people such as Neve who are there spurring us on, sharing their advice, sharing their wisdom, and that's hugely invaluable in terms of us trying to secure academic jobs or trying to further develop our research profiles while trying to teach as well. And I think as well, something that can transform the solitary activity of writing into a collaborative act has to be a good thing. Thirdly and finally, I think accessibility and inclusivity is one of the main benefits of these virtual shut up and write sessions, or just generally how digital technologies can transform academic writing. I think these technologies allow those who are perhaps unable to engage physically or to be present somewhere physically to do so virtually, and that has to be a good thing in my book if we're more accessible and more inclusive in the field of academia. Okay, I think that sums up my thoughts on virtual shut up and writes. I hope that it's been interesting, and I again thank Neve for inviting me to participate, and I'm only sorry that I can't be there in person to share in what will hopefully be a very interesting discussion. I hope to follow on Twitter if there's anybody tweeting. Okay, thanks again.